religious, operators, be it, anybody that is capable. This religious, because I believe people will be thinking, okay, President Tinubu had used 4 years. Okay, Governor Seyi Makinde is aspiring to be president. He's a Yoruba man, he's an Ibadan man. And people would start, putting sentiments into these issues. So I don't believe in all those. And, well, I'm sure if he has good intentions for the country, like you said. But what I'm saying is some people trying to, put some holes somewhere in his course.
Well, Bimbo, I hear you, and you have spoken well. But then, Bimbo, you cannot wish all those things away from politics, not just in Nigeria, in any part of the world. Religion, ethnicity. How would you feel, Bimbo, if that capable and ideal person that you are talking about continues to be from a particular part of the country, continues to be from northern Nigeria perpetually, or that capable, and at some point you will begin to ask questions. How come the only capable persons are Christians? How come the only capable and ideal persons are Muslims? That is why that's why they say unity in diversity. That is why that diversity is there. And of course, what we want to talk about, what we want to forge among ourselves, is the principle of unity in diversity, that we love ourselves even in that diversity. So part of loving ourselves is giving every zone a chance at the top seats, giving every religious affiliation a chance to be at the top seat. So we can always fish out our best across the different religious affiliations, across the different ethnic nationalities. So that is what we are supposed to be doing. That is when balancing and fairness and equity comes in. But when we stretch it too much, that is when we could have a problem. When we keep on emphasizing on it, despite the fact that we know that a particular candidate is not good, we now insist that, okay, because this is our man, and knowing fully well that is not good, but just because we want a representation. That representation, if it's going to spread across religion, across the diverse ethnic nationalities, then the best of the best, and we, the electorate, must be very conscious who we are voting for. And so, like I said, you cannot wish it away. That is the reality. That is the reality. Like I said, you have talked about the ideal, but then we have to be realistic about these things if we are indeed to remain a cohesive nation. That's why Governor Seyi Makinde is also saying some things here. He's calling on Nigerians to resist voter apathy. That means that people should come out and vote. And he said the opposition in Nigeria is not just the political parties, it is the everyday Nigerian for whom the country does not work. He called for mass civic participation and urging Nigerians to resist political apathy and become actively engaged in shaping the future of the country. Quoting him now, he said this is the time for every one of us to shake off the apathy that is gradually taking root. And I'm glad the governor is very conscious about that yes. Voter apathy that is gradually taking root, and engage with the political process to ensure that Nigeria works for us. He stated, it is time to confront our fears. It is time to be engaged citizens and not spectators in our own country. That is what many of us are, Bimbo, spectators in our own country.
I remember that voter apathy. There are some establishments, some agencies that are supposed to be sensitizing people now. Before in Oyo State, we have the Ministry of Information.
What about us, Bimbo? We're also guilty.
Yes,
not doing enough to sensitize the people.
Media. Yes, we have the National Orientation Agency in Oyo State. I remember the last local government elections when I covered the axis of Oyo State, and I saw there were polling units in front of some houses there, and I saw some residents just sitting down and watching, not coming out to vote. There should be even at our end, like you said, there should be some kind of education. Yes, education about when to, how to, and also the need to come out and vote for your candidate of your choice. In the meantime, that local government election, then people, at a point, at some units, some people were saying, we asked, why didn't you come out? They said, they saw heavy presence of the army and the mobile police. That was why they were afraid to come out.
Talking about voter apathy, I've said it before on this platform, and it's quite worrisome. A situation where millions will obtain their PVCs, and at the end of the day, under 1 million people elect a governor in a particular state. And you begin to wonder. I mean, just under 1 million people, the votes of not up to 1 million people are counted to decide who becomes the governor. So this is the kind of thing that the governor is talking about. Well, he described Ibadan as the city of warriors, and he declared that the alliance would field candidates for elective office from top to bottom across the country. I'm sure they must have an arrangement, and well, I'm also hoping
that arrangement is the Wiki camp. I don't know that kind of arrangement.
Well, that's what I was trying to say, that if they scale through, whatever hurdles is still before them, assuming they scale through, and they get on the ballot in whatever form that they are planning to be on the ballot paper. Well, before all that happens, Limbo, I also hope that they do not implode like other attempts at forging a viable and very alternative opposition, as has been the case in this country. Primarily, most recently, the ADC. So I hope they do not also start battling with internal wranglings. Well, Governor Shimakinde has given the impression that this is a cohesive force, this is a force that will not be deterred, that will not be bogged down by internal wranglings. But then, humans being what we are. Let's have this quick commercial break, and we will be back.
It's Choco time. Dano Choco is here with a taste you love. Just open for and enjoy the chocolatey ride. Dano Choco 3-in-1. Ooh, taste it, love it. Dano Choco 3-in-1. Ooh, I love it.
Introducing the new Dano Choco 3-in-1. It's tasty, creamy, and satisfying. Taste it, love it.
All across Nigeria, one truth prevails. Football is not just played on the pitch. Arguments fly, tensions shift like defenders on the pitch. And when the ball finally enters the net, that is the 12th player full attack mode. 11 players play on the pitch, but we, the fans, play from anywhere. With Betano, fans don't just watch the match, we influence the game. Register now and join the 12th player. Betano, not for persons under the age of 18. Bet responsibly.
Ìbàdàn kí ni show? Ẹ̀yin ará Ìbàdàn aláṣẹ òkè, ṣé ti múra sílẹ̀? People of Ìbàdàn, have you prepared yourselves? Láti Bodija Market títí dé University of Ìbàdàn, ìlú yìí máa gbóná fún ìgbádùn. From Bodija Market to the University of Ìbàdàn, this city will be lit for enjoyment. Ẹ̀yin oníṣòwò Bodija, a kí gbogbo ìsapá yín. Traders of Bodija will celebrate all your hard work. And to all the students of UI, this one now specially for Una, because the Razzle City Tour is officially pulling up with bold vibes. Get ready for music, games, dance, and pure enjoyment as Razzle brings cola, orange, and lemon, all available in the bold and refreshing 60cl bottle. Nibadan, Agbafe Ademogbadon. In Ibadan, we don't fake vibes. Ibadan fe bere gan. The enjoyment is about to begin, so prepare yourself because the city is about to light up with the full energy. Ibadan, your city, your vibe, your razzle, razzle your world.
Conversation.
Yes, the program is still Conversation on Oluyole FM 98.5 right in the city of Ibadan. Yes, well, to the APC now. Yes, different scenarios have been upcoming in the APC. Now, fresh tensions have erupted across several states as the ruling All Progressives Congress commences its primaries today ahead of the 2027 general elections, forcing party leaders and key stakeholders loyal to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to intensify consultations to prevent a full-blown internal crisis, and which is being full-blown in some states now and in some cities. I can tell you. The growing unrest, which has triggered protests, collapsed consensus negotiations, and led to accusations of candidate imposition and reconciliation efforts across multiple states, comes as the APC leadership races to preserve party cohesion before the primaries gather momentum nationwide. And concerned by the situation, President Tinubu has appealed to members, aspirants, and party leaders to conduct themselves as sportsmen and women. He warned that rancorous behavior would only serve the opposition and cautioned winners against gloating, while urging losers to accept defeat with grace. That's President Tinubu's advice now here.
Well, remember, if the president is sincere about that spirit of sportsmanship, he wouldn't be forcing consensus on them. He would let everybody go to the field,
yes,
to test their popularity.
Direct primaries.
Like I always say, I don't know who is afraid of competition. Let people go and contest. It is this consensus thing that is tending to tear their party apart.
Yes,
and it's imposition, not consensus.
Yes, and now, like the primaries, the APC primaries will start today. But let me quickly just go through this. Outcomes, fallout of the consensus issue. Protests rocks Oluyole APC secretariat over alleged imposition of candidates, and the party leadership is saying they are sponsored hoodlums. Let me just quickly go through some excerpts here. Some members of the All Progressives Congress APC in Oyo State have staged protests over planned imposition of aspirants as candidates of the party in 2027 general elections, and the protesters stormed the party secretariat at Oluyole, Ibadan during a leadership and stakeholders meeting with the aspirants on the need for a peaceful conduct of the party's primaries scheduled for next week nationwide on Thursday, insisting that they will resist imposition of candidates. They also cautioned the leadership against monetary influence in the selection of candidates. That one is by the way. And the aggrieved members recalled that such steps had worked against the party in the past, which made it to lose the 2023 governorship election in the state. They added that rather than imposing candidates, the leadership should provide a level playing ground for all the aspirants through the conduct of free and fair primaries. Now, the attack on the Oluyole secretariat of the APC, which lasted for about 2 hours, led to the damage of private cars and the secretariat building, as windshield, tires, office windows, doors, among other things, were shattered. Meanwhile, reacting to the development, the publicity secretary of the party, well, Tola, you know this guy, Olawale Shadali, said the protesters were sponsored to disrupt the existing peace that the party is enjoying.
Of course, he doesn't have to tell us that nobody would now look at it this way. I'm a hoodlum, fine, but I also want to eat. So would I just rise from wherever I'm living, whichever hole I'm domiciled in, and I'll rise and crawl out of that hole, and I'll join some other people to go and destroy a party office without somebody sponsoring me, without somebody asking me to do it, and with the promise of giving me some. So he doesn't have to tell us that. We know that they are sponsored. That is the way it goes. That is the way it works in politics.
In politics, yes.
And Nigerian politics.
Nigerian politics, yes. The state chairman, Chief Moses Alaki Adeyemo, former deputy governor in Oyo State, said this became imperative in order not to jeopardize the chances of the party in 2027. That is talking about a meeting which was held, a high-level meeting. And Adeyemo emphasized that the party would not condone any act of indiscipline from any member during and after the conduct of the primaries. Well, and I also understood that during that fracas yesterday, a member of the House of Representatives, yes, was highly,
beating black and blue.
Black and blue, yes, and during the fracas, and well, just unfortunate that a House of revered, he should be called revered member of the House of Representatives, and came and tried to scuttle the activity, and it was handled seriously.
Well, I understand this particular House of Reps member also in the past dished out general doses of a beating to others. So some people are saying that he got a dose of his own medicine. Yes. But by and large, we condemn violence in whatever ramification. No justification for political violence. There cannot be any justification. Aggrieved party members have every right to protest, but what we condemn is violence. It did not have to turn violence. Okay, more political stories. Okay, all right, now APC, okay, the one you read before on the APC primaries, President cautioning party leadership and urging fair contest. Well, the ADC is faulting the federal government's move to seek fresh $1.25 billion World Bank loan. Well, myself and I guess a good number of Nigerians are also not very comfortable with this fresh loan. But unfortunately, and what saddens me is that the ADC may not be criticizing this move based on the fact that they love Nigerians. They are saying this because that's what they are supposed to be saying as the opposition, and to draw the sympathy of Nigerians towards themselves. So not that, after all, the difference between ADC, and APC and PDP is the difference between 6 and half a dozen. So the African Democratic Congress, ADC, has faulted the federal government's move to seek another fresh $1.25 billion World Bank loan, despite Nigeria's rising debt profile of about 159.28 trillion naira. In a statement by its National Publicity Secretary, Malam Bolaji Abdullahi, the party said the government was taking new loans to service old debts, while Nigerians continue to suffer rising food prices, unemployment, insecurity, business closures, and worsening inflation. And he accused the Tinubu government of running, a Ponzi economy.
Ponzi. And President Tinubu said, Adelia said that no more loans to be secured, but we are securing loans, more loans, and elections are around the corner.
Well, the ADC has actually hit the nail on the head, but like I said, I'm not sure what they would do better if it had been them in the corridors of power.
Yes, still, yes, you mentioned something about Ponzi
scheme.
Yes, I think the Securities and Exchange Commission have raised alarms over rising Ponzi scheme on social media this time. Yes, let me just go through this. The Securities and Exchange Commission has warned Nigerians against investing in illegal online investment schemes being aggressively promoted on social media platforms. Of course, we see it most of the time on our Facebook and other mediums, other platforms, saying many of the operations bear the hallmarks of Ponzi and prohibited investment schemes capable of exposing investors to severe financial losses.
Well, in a situation where the things are so hard and the economy is so hard, many Nigerians will, especially young people, will continue to turn to these Ponzi schemes. But ultimately, and it's not just in Nigeria, all over the world. Ultimately, they crash. But then there are people who can be very smart when they force them start the scheme. Yes. They are the ones that quickly cash in on it.
Yes,
and then they
know, like it happened before in the past.
And then this kind of people I'm talking about, they know when to stop. Only God knows how they are able to detect when things are about to go south. So they quickly end whatever relationship they have with the Ponzi schemers. So, but then it is those that get cajoled at the last minute. Those are the ones that now suffer, bear the brunt when the Ponzi scheme comes crashing. But still on ADC, Atiku Amechi submit presidential nomination forms. I will go for primary if I'm not consensus candidate, says Amechi. And on Ekiti Guba, INEC begins distribution of non-sensitive materials in 16 local government areas.
Yes, talking about security here, the Nigerian Army said troops of the Joint Task Force Northeast, Operation Adenkai, rescued 6 abducted women and children, neutralized terrorists, and arrested suspected collaborators during sustained operations across the Northeast Theater. Yes, arrested suspected collaborators. I think